compete to get your material on. So the writers are competing with each other, the performers are competing with each other.
So Barry let us shoot it, but then it came time to air it. And that's when everybody got nervous. Like everybody were really nervous about airing this. He goes, undoubtedly it is great and funny. He goes, but we just don't think we can air this.
Back in the day, TV was kinda, let's call it reliable, right? But then, boom, In Living Color hit the scene and totally blew our minds. An outlier. It was like a lightning bolt of laughs that caught everyone off guard. This show was bold, brash, and brilliantly raw. Oh yeah, it was that good. Dreamed up by the iconic Keenan Ivory Wayans and featuring his hilarious siblings Damon and Marlon, alongside a K-er cast like Jim Carrey, Kim Coles, and David Alan Grier, In Living Color wasn't just a show. It was a cultural revolution.
I drop my uniform wherever I want. I work 15 jobs. I don't have time for your foolishness. When I come home, I'm tired, damn it.
But like all revolutions, this one had an end. So what really caused the show's sudden cancellation? Apparently, the writers were in a constant battle to get their material on the show. Everyone was competing like crazy, except maybe Jim Carrey, because apparently he was a total one-of-a-kind, and the Wayans, because, well, it was their show. Get ready for a ride through the high-stakes world of TV, hires, fires, rumored romances, and all the juicy details. Buckle up, y'all. This tea is scalding hot.
Compete to get your material on. So the writers are competing with each other, the performers are competing with each other.
Keenan Wayans was born in Harlem, NYC, to Howell Stoughton Wayans, a supermarket manager, and Elvira Alethea, a homemaker and social worker. He's the second of 10 kids. Crazy, right? A deep dive on the show Finding Your Roots revealed his dad's side traces back to Madagascar. And yep, his dad was a devout Jehovah's Witness. The fam later moved to Manhattan's Fulton housing projects where Keenan grew up. He went to Seward Park High School and then snagged an engineering scholarship to Tuskegee University. But instead of hitting the books, he entertained his college buddies with hilarious made-up stories about NYC life. One semester before graduation, he bailed on school to chase his comedy dreams. Keenan's first gig at the Improv in NYC was where he met Robert Townsend, who schooled him in the comedy biz. The two of them drove to LA together in 1980, and Keenan started acting. He had a regular role on For Love and Honor, and popped up on Hill Street Blues as an NFL linebacker. Townsend wrote, directed, and starred in Hollywood Shuffle, and Keenan co-starred and co-wrote it. The movie's success helped Keenan get the cash to make I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. Then, Fox came knocking and offered him his own show. Keenan wanted to create a variety show like Saturday Night Live, but with a cast of people of color and edgier content. Fox gave him a lot of creative freedom, although they were a bit nervous about the show's content before it debuted. From his wild sketch comedy days to his Hollywood directing gigs, Keenan Wayans has been stirring the pot and serving laughs for decades by now. What's up now? This is the VIPs. Yeah, that means very, very important people. Keenan wasn't new to this game. He'd already knocked it out of the park with 2 successful blaxploitation productions. But In Living Color? That was the real home run in the early 90s. The casting bar was sky high. Word on the street is legends like Chris Rock and Martin Lawrence auditioned but didn't make the cut. Can you believe that? The process was tough, like trying to please everyone at a potluck with cilantro.
The casting process was really fun. A lot of the people I knew from doing stand-up in the clubs, but even though I knew them, I put them all through the process.
Some folks didn't make the cut while others turned it down. Yep, Mark Curry was offered a spot and passed. When Fox approached Keenan and basically told him to go wild with his comedy, they probably didn't realize just how edgy his mind was. Barry let us shoot it, but when it came time to air it, everyone got nervous. Peter Chernin, the head of the network, sat me down and said, "We're really nervous about airing this. It's great and funny, but we don't think we can air it." It took about a year from shooting the pilot to actually airing it. Fox even had a research team working around the clock to make sure they weren't stepping on any sensitive toes. Not only was that a conversation, but they hired a research group. Meeting with them was like meeting the CIA, stiff suit and tie types. They didn't ask if things were funny, they asked how it made people feel, like wow. They even wanted to know my feelings about the show. I told them, I think the show is fresh and new, I think it's revolutionary. And they were like, what do you mean revolutionary? In Living Color is an iconic American sketch comedy show that originally aired on Fox from April 15, 1990 to May 19, 1994. Keenan Ivory Wayans was the mastermind behind it. Obvi. He created, wrote, and starred in the show. It was produced by Ivory Way Productions along with 20th Television and filmed at Stage 7 at the Fox Television Center on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. The show's title was inspired by NBC's old-school announcements about broadcasting in living color back in the 60s before color TV was a thing. It also hinted at the mostly black cast, which was a huge shakeup compared to other sketch comedies like SNL, which were mostly white at the time. In Living Color brought fresh, edgy black humor to TV, right when shows like The Cosby Show were all about family-friendly vibes. This led to some serious drama between Fox execs and the Wayans crew. The Wayans family was all over this show. Damon, Kim, Sean, and Marlon had regular roles, and their brother Dwayne often appeared as an extra. The show also launched the careers of several then unknowns like Jamie Foxx, Jim Carrey, Tommy Davidson, David Alan Grier, Kelly Caulfield Park, and Takia Crystal Kima. Plus, it introduced Jennifer Lopez and Carrie Ann Inaba as part of the Fly Girls dance troupe, with Rosie Perez as the choreographer. In Living Color was a smash hit in its first 2 seasons, scoring over a 10-point Nielsen rating. But the ratings dropped in the 3rd and 4th seasons due to creative control clashes between the Wayans brothers and Fox. The show totally blown up like that, a mega hit. Obviously, there's behind-the-scenes drama. So, Tommy Davidson had to leave the show and then come back, and he swears something was different after the OG cast left. He said, there was a bit more freedom for me to do what I wanted, but the show lost some of its spark, and I missed those friendships. But hey, it's a job, not a family.
There's a little more freedom for me to do what I wanted to do, but also there was a lack of quality to the show, and those friendships I missed too. But like I said, this is a job. It ain't like my family.
So why did Tommy have to dip and then return? Well, rumor has it, it was all about the substance abuse that everyone saw coming except him. People kept telling me, don't do that, but it wasn't a conscious decision. I just had a lot of opportunities and I was emotionally dependent on those things to deal with my reality, Tommy explained. Even Keenan tried to help him out of that slump, but no luck. Everyone pulled me aside and said, hey man, be careful, Tommy recalled. Despite all this, Keenan describes Tommy as a super talented, energetic, and dynamic comedian. Tommy is like the Energizer Bunny. He has more energy than anyone and can do 1,000 voices. His stand-up is amazing. He can sing and do musical stuff. He's like an old-school entertainer with a modern twist.
You know, everybody put me to the side. That was the good thing. Everybody put me to the side and said, hey man, you better watch out. You better be careful. You better be careful.
Are we really surprised that cast members dated and fell in love with each other? A bunch of beautiful and attractive, talented people, a big spectacle, something so revolutionary, of course they fell in love with each other, including the creator himself. He was rumored to have love affairs with Kim Coles, who he supposedly fired in a super shady way, and fly girl J-Lo. Yep, it's a lot, so let's spill the tea. Kim Coles was on the show for just 1 season, and then she vanished like Houdini. Fans were left scratching their heads, wondering where she went. The rumor mill went wild, saying Kim got the boot because her fling with Keenan went south. The way she got fired was super sus. Kim got a call from her agent saying, don't go to work Monday morning. Ouch. That had to sting, especially since the show was the hottest thing around. Kim later said it was tough, embarrassing, and just plain weird. She couldn't figure out what she'd done wrong. Eventually, she and Keenan talked it out, and she got the lowdown on the show's politics. Make of that what you will, but it reeks of shady business. Kim believes Keenan fired her because of his little sister, Kim Wayans, who was also on the show. She thinks she wasn't allowed to shine because Keenan needed his sister to be the star. Keenan had his own take on it, saying Kim Coles was funny, but didn't follow the show's rules about keeping vanity in check. And that, according to him, is why things didn't work out. So, was it sibling rivalry, love gone wrong, or just showbiz politics? You decide.
I got a call from my agent saying, don't go to work Monday morning. Don't go to work Monday. I'm like, humana. And it was tough, of course. And it was embarrassing and it was weird because it was the hottest thing ever.
In Living Color was a launch pad for many Hollywood stars, and Jennifer Lopez was part of the iconic Fly Girls dance crew. But like any good showbiz story, the rumor mill was in overdrive with whispers about a supposed love affair between Keenan Ivory Wayans and J.Lo. Word on the street was that their fling was the reason J.Lo got her spot and kept it. Here's the catch. There's zero solid proof of any romance, and both Keenan and J.Lo have kept their lips sealed about the whole thing. Jamie Foxx didn't help matters by allegedly stirring the pot with his own comments.
Got a couple other new things I think you're gonna like. First of all, we have a new fly girl coming all the way from Bronx, New York, Miss Jennifer Lopez.
Speaking of Jamie Foxx, there were reports that he wasn't exactly a joy to work with. Tommy Davidson spilled some tea in his 2020 memoir, Living in Color, where he called Jamie talented but also super competitive and mean. According to Tommy, Jamie would score points with Keenan by making fun of him, which only made things worse. Tommy didn't hold grudges, though, saying he was just giving an honest account. Keenan, on the other hand, thought Jamie's teasing made the show funnier, calling Jamie an imp who loved to push Tommy's buttons.
Jamie is like an imp. Jamie's a guy who loves to tease, he loves to push, and he would do things to Tommy that make Tommy crazy.
The Wayans brothers were on fire, the sketches were outrageous, and the ratings were sky high. So, what went wrong? 2 words: censorship and reruns. The network wasn't always vibing with the show's edgy humor. Keenan told The Hollywood Reporter he understood the need for restrictions, but was frustrated because the censorship rules kept changing. One week something was fine, the next week it wasn't. On top of that, Fox started rerunning old episodes without giving Keenan a heads up, which hurt the show's freshness. Keenan was blindsided when Fox announced the reruns, feeling like the network was exploiting him. He eventually left in the middle of season 4, feeling robbed of his hard work. Without its visionary creator, the show lost its spark and wasn't the same in its final season. Despite ending too soon, In Living Color remains a comedy gem and a legacy. It gave us unforgettable characters, iconic sketches, and a platform for a whole generation of stars. The series bagged a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Variety, Music, or Comedy Series in 1990. It made a huge splash by airing a live special episode during the halftime show of Super Bowl XXX, which had CBS scrambling. This bold move led the NFL to book A-list acts for future halftime shows, starting with Michael Jackson the next year. In 2018, the show's history was captured in the book Homie Don't Play That by David Peisner, giving fans an in-depth look at its legacy.